welcome to a special Tuesday edition of the Paranormal Voice. My name, of course, is your host, Dale Quigley, and I am here with you guys. Thank you guys so much. I know this show was supposed to happen on Sunday, but as you all know, life gets in the way every once in a while. But here we are. I'm so happy that these guys were able to reschedule as quickly as they did. That is always truly amazing. But yeah, I mean, what a special program we have coming your way because I just love these two guys as as much as possible. Been big, huge supporters, and also too, just to let you guys know, they are also this month's sponsors. The Haunted Western Block is going to be sponsoring the Paranormal Voice for the month of October. We're so happy to have these guys back as sponsors once again. But guys, like I said, things have been going crazy and busy for right here at the Paranormal Voice. It's been truly amazing. I actually got up to see all my amazing friends and family up there at the UFO Contact Convention this weekend. It was so amazing. Had so much fun hanging out with everybody there. Got to see Andrea Parent, got to see Deb and RJ DeRoos, got to see my good friend Mike Holzberg, got to see Dana Stricker, Gigi, Mary Bassett, and Bill Kokolowski, and all those amazing people. So it was so much fun to be back at being at an event. I had so much fun hanging out with everybody. So it's so good to see everybody was doing well. But I was so, at the same time, so glad that I was able to get these guys rescheduled as fast as we possibly can. So yeah, so here we go. I want to welcome two of my great friends from the Buffalo Phantom Hunters. Of course, we have Mr. Frank Kupka and his good partner, Heather. How you guys doing?
Hi. Good.
Frank looks like he just had a wrestling match.
Yeah, with my computer. I got to go back and reset all the passwords. I have them all logged in my stuff, but none of them are working. So I don't know what the deal is. So thank God I was get in for my phone.
Thank God for phones. You know, it is so awesome. So once again, so happy to have you guys back. Of course, the Western Block, a very historic building right there up where you guys are in in Lockport, New York. The building was founded in around the 1800s, but then it became several other things, which we're going to talk about nowadays, and just how it became such an attraction. And of course, what led Heather into buying the Western Block, such a beautiful building. And speaking of beautiful buildings, oh boy, we have a beautiful gentleman jumping in here right now. Look at this, folks.
Oh, good Lord.
The icon himself, all the way back from... the icon himself, all the way from Virginia. What an amazing weekend this gentleman had.
I need a nap. but I'll meet that big lunker over there. I'll meet him at the gym tomorrow after 10.
Perfect. I'm gonna we're gonna do some back workout.
I'm not gonna be doing much of a workout. I'm going stretching, and then I'm gonna go at him. And I'll give you I'm just gonna go, yay, Frank, and then I'm going to the sauna.
Yeah, I do it. All good.
So, of course, Frank and Heather are from the Buffalo Phantom Hunters, people who run all the events at the Western Block. Heather, who is the owner of the Western Block.
Not to correct you, but it's Para Niagara.
Para Niagara.
Just saying.
And then, of course, the gentleman who is there just as much as everybody else who's had some pretty amazing experiences at the Haunted Western Block. Of course, the OG himself, Mr. Tim Shaw. Good evening, sir.
Hi, guys.
It's good to have you back on the Paranormal Voice. Taking a break from the Black Cat Lounge this evening because he has to recoup from his amazing weekend.
I must be cutting out. Good.
So we'll start with Heather. Heather, give us a little bit of the background on the Western Block and a little bit of history and all the good stuff that goes along with that before we get into the real haunted part, because the history itself is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. So, what do you have, like several hours here?
We've got as long as you want.
I'll
Tim might be
keep it
sleeping
short.
halfway through it, though.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
most
yeah.
people do. Most people do. So the property is a good 200 years old, and it's located right on the Erie Canal in New York. And the property was known as the Western Block from 1888 and on, because that was the company that was here. But there's a really rich history here with a ton of different industries, including a police department, fire department that were on site, cotton batting company, hide tannery, smoke shop, and just it was built up over the years and slowly accumulated into the Western Block.
So, but the building itself, I mean, it was built from rocks that were taken from the canal that were right across the street.
Yes. Yep. We've got 4.5 buildings that still stand today, that were built from the stone quarried out of the canal as they were building the Erie Canal. And apparently they had just mounds and mounds of rock that lined the canal, and they didn't know what to do with it. So it was a free for all. So there was a lot of buildings in the area that were built from stone that was quarried out of the canal like that.
That's and so when you first, so I you know, the curious part, I mean, I asked this of anybody who owns a haunted location, like, what was the attraction to you about buying such a historic place?
Well, I didn't know it was haunted. I
all
had
the
no
li-
idea it was haunted. The owners failed to mention that part before I purchased it. It is actually an active arts and cultural center during the day. So the previous owners, when they wanted to retire, they asked if I wanted to take it over. And it was always a childhood dream of mine to own a place exactly like that. I went to school for architecture, so right up my alley, but on bumps. And I wanted to do it. So I didn't find out about all the haunted areas until well after I was already knee deep in owning the place. But yeah, I found out when my tenants started approaching me and they're like, "Hey, we hear people walking around, but nobody's here." So yeah.
So between Frank and Tim, let's talk about the discoveries you guys have made with the haunted Western Block. I mean, when was the first time either one of you guys started? What was the first investigation? I mean,
what point
I was looking mercilessly on my computer. I thought I saved it. The video that Frank has about the shadow person that's in the upper room that you guys show at every one of your events, because you guys are still looking to see if somebody can crack the that to explain it, because it is definitely a video that's hard to explain. But I'll let you guys talk about some of the activities from what you guys have discovered over the years and how long you guys have been investigating the place.
Frank.
Me. All right. Well, so some of the activities we get obviously is that shadow. That's we keep trying to we bring groups up to that same room, give them all the information we have, and and let them try to figure out what it could be or how it could have came about. We've had a few people, they like to, one says it's a squirrel running across the power lines or it's a rabbit jumping around, and then they realize they're on the second floor, that kind of stuff. But we really find we get a lot of activity, all depending on the subjects we discuss. So if we discuss like prohibition and the alcohol, we find certain areas get a lot more activity. If we discuss like the fire that happened next door, out in the barn and stuff, we get some other activities. And even down in the bottom, of the lower galleries, if we're discussing the fire, there was a time we were doing we did a hunt and we only had 2 people at this hunt for whatever reason. And the back area back by the bathrooms is really, really cloudy and dark. So I went to look back there, and it was like I just completely disappeared and walked into an abyss. You couldn't see me. When I walked into the one gallery room, you know the walls don't go to the ceiling, so you can see over the top and hear things. I couldn't hear anything. There was no light. I couldn't see anything. And it wasn't until Heather kind of actually, for the first time ever, kind of startled me. And there she was standing there now, but she was standing outside looking in, and she couldn't even see me where I was. She didn't even know I was in the room actually. So a lot of it depends on the subjects we broach, what we discuss, how we talk about it, that kind of stuff.
So, Mr. Shaw, thank you for joining us here today and bringing your expertise knowledge of the haunted world. No.
You're looking for expert knowledge. The blonde has got the expert knowledge. I'm just comedy relief.
But you've had some pretty amazing encounters there, including one that was on a live last year, where you were actually knocked right off your seat.
Knocked out of my sneakers.
Yeah. Yep. Knocked right.
Yeah, that was one of the. That was a. That was an intensive night. Let's put it that way. That's probably one of the most intensive nights that I've spent in a long time. Outside of trying to find the bathroom after eating Taco Bell, but that's just neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty interesting. It was. I don't think it was malicious. I don't think it was like coming at me. I believe it was going after another person that was on the team, our buddy John. And I think it was going to try whatever. It was heading towards him, and I think I just stepped in the way of the energy hitting it. And it spun me around, dropped me real slow, but it spun me around. But
sure did.
As I'm sitting there on the floor, El Diablo walks up to me and hands me my sneaker, and I'm going, "How did that happen?" It's the velocity that hit me. So I think the velocity was enough to knock the sneaker off. It was as my darling friend Frank says, it looked like a goddamn accident. Looked like somebody ran you over, but it was I didn't get hurt. I mean, I didn't get hurt, but it was pretty interesting. But that was a weird night. I mean, everybody was acting weird. Everybody it was like the energy was trying to split the group up and everything. That's not all the time, but when you get the right combination of people there at the right place, right people right at the right time, that place lights up like a Roman candle.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's explore this a little bit, because this could probably be explained in a lot of locations that are known for haunted. I mean, you've guys done a lot of investigating in a lot of different places all throughout New York State and all throughout the places. But energy, I mean, I've heard that talked about so much, and how the energy of the people that are there will often affect the location itself.
Yeah.
When we talk about this, like what is it about people's energy that can make spirits more active or less active? Like, is there a common thread when, because you guys, like I said, you guys click very well. You guys have been in several different locations. Is the same energy that you guys get at the Western Block, does it come out in different locations you guys have been at?
Yeah,
I would say, yeah. Yeah.
You witnessed it firsthand. Yes. That's all I say. Dale, you witnessed it firsthand, and I'll let you talk about that, because that was sort of a unique experience.
Yeah. I mean, I have experienced it with you guys, and that was a night that I will never forget that. It will
we apologize profusely, because you had never worked with us on that scale before, and I think that you were a tad surprised at what was going on, and as we were just standing there going, "Oh, this is great. This is great. Ooh, this is great.
Good.
So we'll let the rest of the audience in on this. And you've probably heard us talk about this on past shows, but so the four of us and a few other people, I say there was like 15 of us in total. We did OSR together. For those that don't know, it's the Ohio State Reformatory, one of the most magnificent prisons in history. I love that place. I could go to that place every day because the beauty of that place, the energy of that place, and it does have its own energy. The second you walk in there, you feel the presence. So that was one of my dream locations, was to investigate the place, and I rented it out, and I thought of 15 really good investigators. So I brought in who I believe was 15 of the best. Well, I had the opportunity to work with these three right here, including my son, who it was basically his very first big investigation. So Frank, as a lot of people know from the past shows that we've had him on, he is a former corrections officer within the prison systems. So he knows what goes on in these places. So I didn't know they were planning this, but Frank Ditto and Heather and Tim, they were all going to do this reenactment thing where we were going to... Frank brought part of his old uniform with handcuffs and everything, and we went into solitary confinement, put Frank in the handcuffs. He was acting as the prisoner, and Heather as the prison guard, which was hilarious because anybody who's seen Frank in real life, the man is a beast. Okay, and trying to watch Heather put on these handcuffs and Frank going, "You're breaking my arm! You're breaking my arm!"
Keep pulling back. Keep breathing, Frank. Don't worry about it. We'll get those friggin' things up. I thought I was snapping a lock. To get that in there.
That's probably the first and only time Frank's fingers ever touched behind his back.
Yep. There's a joke that goes with that, but we're not going there.
So we did this whole thing, and Frank explained what was going to happen. So found where solitary confinement was. We started walking down this hall, and just in that very instant, Frank went right into character, and saying what he knows, what prisoners usually say, about other officers and stuff like that. And right from the moment he started, I felt the energy in that hallway change. And I was like, okay, what did I sign up for? But this is going to be good because I'm in very good company. I know these guys very well. I know they're not going to let anything bad happen. But the energy changed. So we finally found one cell because we were warned beforehand, like, don't close any doors because if they lock, they can't get you back out.
Right.
So we found one that I think the lock was cut out, so it was pretty safe. Frank got in there, and from the moment he got in there, we shut the door. The temperature in that place dropped at least 20 degrees in seconds. Like, it was a freezer in there, and we could all see our breath. And I mean, November is usually cold, but it was not that cold.
No.
So we did this whole reenactment thing, and the energy and what we were getting on the ghost box. It was intense. And
Kill him. Kill him. That's still my favorite. I tell everybody that story. Kill him. Okay.
I mean, Frank was having a full-blown argument with other inmates in there. Like, this is my block cell, bitches. And they're all saying, F you. No, it's not. Kill him. Get him.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking at Heather going, did I hear that right? She goes, yeah.
I didn't even want to admit it. Yep. Sure
But
did.
but the energy, like the energy set the pace, and it was so amazing. Like, I'm so glad that I got to experience something like that.
Well,
But
what about later on? What you got to experience?
Oh yeah.
you talking about
What
my
happened later?
first scratch?
There you go. They
that
took
that
away
little
me.
baby. I was proud. I had a badge finally, and Tim played it off like, yeah, I've had deeper.
It's not bleeding. You don't need stitches. Suck it up. Let's
You're
go.
good.
Good to go.
You're good. Back
But it didn't even happen where we were at, though. It
Mhm.
happened in the
Oh.
bathroom of our central
break
location
room.
where everybody had a chance to go have a break and sit down, have something to drink. I went in the bathroom and I came
Alone.
out and I was like, what the hell is this, Frank? Tim. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've had better. So, but so the activity in the haunted Western Block, though, and I mean, I've been there several times over the last few years. Thank you for you guys inviting me out. And it's been different every single time. It's never been the same energy.
Yeah.
So it's like, can you guys? And I mean, I'm sure the energy was different because the show has been featured on Death Walkers in 2 seasons, and you guys were on a season of Expedition X with Josh Gates. And I mean, was the energy anywhere close for those guys as it's been for other places? Because I imagine Nick Groff brings a lot of energy into a place as well.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
So the second time we were on Death Walker, they did a lot of reenacting, and up in the one area, they reenacted a fire. After everything was all said and done, everybody was gone. Heather and I were walking through, we're locking up, and we walked down to go to the old Stowe building. Remember the office that we sat in the first time you guys were here, Dale, when Michael John was with us? We were looking out into that hallway. When we got to that stairwell, it was black, but you could see like almost like orange figures moving around. And Heather stepped down onto the stair in front of me, and she just disappeared. The only reason I knew she was there to my left was because the keys were jingling. When she steps back up and she reappears again. But you could see it was like hundreds of whatever there, just staring back at us as we were there. So whatever energy he brought, he unleashed a lot of stuff that night because it was crazy as we were locking up.
What about that ethereal hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
That capture was amazing. Tell them about that. That still blows my mind.
Yeah. So in season 3, you can see like it's like almost looks like I don't even know how to do it. Like maybe like that, like reach through the shelving and then back again. But it's only got 3 fingers, and so we don't know exactly what we're seeing. And he tried figuring it out. He brought it to a specialist, I think, at one of the local colleges, to try to get an additional take on what this video was that he captured. It's definitely not like cobwebs, being illuminated by infrared, stuff like that. It's not anything that was just like ribbons dangling in the wind, nothing like that. He just caught this very strange thing that like seems to reach through the shelf. And again, after he left, we had another big spike in the experiences here. So he definitely seems to be able to tap into locations, and there's lasting effects with that that we have noticed as well when we've investigated here. So.
Now with so let's so how would, I don't know if you really call them Hollywood, but these shows that do paranormal investigations, how do they reach out to a location to say, hey, we're interested about shooting there? How does, like, I mean, this is something that a lot of places don't get discovered because shows don't do their locations. but it's an interesting layout. Like, obviously, they hear about it, they want to know more about it, and then they obviously book the location. What was that experience like, Heather? Like being contacted by a network and saying, "Hey, we're interested in doing a show about your location."
Only the good stuff, Heather. Only the good stuff. Tell only the good stuff.
Well, we've been very fortunate to have met some awesome people that know a lot in the industry, and and we've also met just a lot of people during the Paracons. So it's a lot of it's just us putting it out there that we've got a location that a lot of people haven't been to yet. That's very historic and it's massive. So as far as like being contacted, it's always exciting. I always love when a new group comes in, especially like a production group or something like that. Especially a group like Nick, who's done this before, or Brian Cano, who's been to a lot of places, because they have experience that, yes, the private groups have experience as well, but it's that added layer of all of these people coming together, and then we start to see correlations between these people that don't know each other. So if they're getting something similar in the same areas, or if they're getting something completely different, I don't know, it's exciting. So yeah.
So you guys coming in, you guys just reopened up the Western Block again to start your investigation season because October's here, and of course everybody wants to see the spooky stuff. You guys do a very unique event each and every October. Every Saturday in the month of October, you guys invite the kids in to experience ghost hunting. Now, I find that absolutely fascinating because the youth of today and some of the kids that we've met so far that take the tours at your guys' facility, like they're so into it, and I'm so happy to see that we have a new generation that's going to keep ghost hunting alive.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to die out anytime soon, and I'm so grateful for that. So I want to talk a little bit about this event that you guys put on each and every year, and how important it is for you guys to spread the word, and especially to get these young minds activated and to learn more about what it is about ghost hunting compared to what they see on TV and really experience it in real life, because it is totally different. And anybody that watches a lot of these programs see what those guys can do, but they also don't understand like what you see in a 1 hour program has probably been like 2 weeks worth of shooting to get 45 minutes worth of good stuff to show. Where these kids are coming in, most of them are brand new. Some come back each and every year because they love what you guys do. So let's talk about how that idea came about, how everybody's involvement, and how important it is to keep the new generation going because they're probably going to bring the paranormal experience to a whole new level. I would think, anyways,
I would hope.
Yeah.
because if we think back to the way Ed Lorraine did it to the way guys are doing it nowadays, it's totally different, and everybody's different, and we understand that. But let's just talk a little bit about the idea itself and how wonderful it is to involve the youth.
Well, I gotta say, first of all, the kids get so much evidence because I think it's the energy that they bring to the building, to the location. They're just so full of energy. They've got no filter, so they're gonna think of something and immediately ask it. And they don't really hold back, a lot of them. So and we get some phenomenal experiences here because of it.
And not very few of them have any fear of what they're asking and what they're doing. So it's like
Yeah.
they have a lot of fun with it. And even sometimes you get some of the timid ones once they start hearing something, they kind of perk up and go, ooh, 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 and then all of a sudden they start asking questions. So it's a great experience. The idea came from, well, kind of that one there. Between him and a couple others and other people, other things that we saw, everybody does Paranormal 101 teach all the older people how to do stuff, right? So Heather and I were sitting down one day where they were talking, why can't we do something for the kids in the afternoon when it's not at night, so it's not as quote unquote creepy or scary, so they can learn how some of this stuff is done, because they keep getting left out and they got to wait till they're 19, 20 years old to come to some of these older things. At least let's give them a taste of what it is now. So we did it for a couple classes, and we tried doing all like little history stuff and this, that, and the other thing. We found that it was kind of, for the lack of a better word, we weren't holding their attention. They were bored. So what we did, we changed it up. And what we did was we brought all our equipment out and put it all on the table. So now they walk in and their eyes just go bing. They're all just wide open. So now we explain each piece of equipment, tell them what it is, tell them what we do. And Heather will tell them, we do this, do it this way. You don't trespass. You don't do this. We have a whole spiel. We do tell them, but it's not as in depth as you would tell like the older people. And then we allow them to come up, grab a piece of equipment, walk around with it, and then we take them out on a hunt. So they have their own piece of equipment. And then now it all depends on what it is, because somebody had dropped something on me one time and I'm like, yeah, I'm not letting that happen again. So, but we allow them to take the equipment and then we go out and we do the investigation with them, and they get to actually hold the piece of equipment, set it up, put it where they want it. We show them what to do, and then we go from there, and then they start asking questions. We found that was much better, much more interactive. They got much more out of it, and that's how we kind of ran with things.
And may I say that Niagara, to my knowledge, is the only location in Western New York that allows and has and sponsors a children's paranormal day. So I think that's really great. As I was growing up, when I was, we'd go down to Lilydale and it'd be a Sunday. I personally went to Lyceum, and part of Lyceum was sometimes was a children's seance, and it's had such an impression on me. So I think what they're doing at Niagara and at the Western Block is so important, because it gives them a chance to really see what the heck is going on. And besides, what you want to do is you want to break them in at that age so that they're not afraid of it when they get older. So it's really important what they're doing, and they have a hell of a time. And I know when I'm teaching, when I'm doing my 101 classes, or if I'm out there even doing some basic stuff, people always ask me, I'd like to take my grandson, I'd like to take my daughter, I'd like to take someone to a place that's not a quote unquote freak show haunted house. They want to go someplace where it's serious, and Niagara Western Block is that place.
Well, it's always surprised me too. Kids are so naturally in tune with a lot of experience that we start to phase out of once we start getting into middle and high school ages. And that has a lot to do with the theory of the way the brainwaves are. But because kids have these more in-depth experiences, I was always so perplexed how parents weren't supportive of that. And when I grew up, you saw a ghost, it was all hush hush. Parents were like, no, you didn't. You're just seeing things. Now, kids watch the ghost shows. And one of the big things that I love is that we're now able to provide a location for the whole entire family, kids and their parents, to come out and experience this together. So
and you have birthday, you open it up for birthday parties and other parties, and whole families come in there. I mean, we're talking family groups that come in. And I think that is probably the hallmark of why the Western Block Niagara is probably one of the number one places in our area, because they are so open to work with everybody. And I really think that's great. And I think that makes a big difference, because you know what, if you're like me, you don't drink, it's like, well, where the hell are you going to go? You're going to sit in the bar, you're going to sit in the restaurant for a birthday party. You know what, that's another yawner. Come to Niagara, hang out at the Western Block for a few hours, and I guarantee it's something that'll be memorable down the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we've done multiple shows on kids being so in tune into, because their minds are not totally corrupted yet.
Neither is Frank's, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But kids, they pick up things naturally, and they're able, like, like Heather says, their energy is so out there because most of the parents that do bring them in, they're also into the ghost shows, so it's exciting for them. Like, like for us, yeah. When I growing up, yeah, you said anything haunted, or you saw a ghost or something happened to you, that you'd be in the psychiatrist's office telling your story, and them trying to tell you you're crazy, and that no, you're not really seeing ghosts. But this is why I love this new generation, because the parents are much more cooler, because they are into it too, and they're allowing their kids to explore it, which
Right.
will keep their minds, I believe, will be always open instead of shutting them, and then years down the road they get back into it, and it's so much harder to reopen up your mind again.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
We just had, matter of fact, over the weekend, I was at the Sage Conference at the Belgrove Plantation down in King George, Virginia. And we had a roundtable with a lot of the participants. And that was one of the big things that they talked about, is being able to keep their kids' minds inquisitive, and being able to hold on to that childlike wonderment and curiosity, so that it kind of follows through into adulthood. And I think that, a lot of people will say that it's not healthy, and I have to disagree. Well, maybe I shouldn't disagree with them, because this is the result of that stuff, being, exposed to this stuff so early in my life, like 9 years old, 10 years old. But I have to agree with them, because I think it not only nurtures that curiosity, but it also nurtures creativity. And that's something else that the block is so unique, because it has gallery space and a space for artists and that sort of thing. And I believe that, it's the combination of everything about that location, the history and the artistic endeavors and the ghost hunts and all the other great stuff out there, that really goes and really gives it that beautiful flavor. And that's what it needs. That's what it seriously needs. And that's something that I see a lot of locations, because, we're all over the place, but I really think that that's what most locations need to do. They need to break it open a little bit more. And Western Block Paraniagara is one of those places that it definitely, I believe it really definitely does that.
Now, of course, Heather and Frank, you guys have been there for every event. I'm sure Tim's been there for a lot of the events. And the one thing that I did witness when I was there a few times is how, when the kids are doing the investigation, now you do have children ghosts that are there, and they really open up to the youth that are there. And I found that interaction truly amazing. Now, maybe Tim can explain a little bit more of this with his background. Do you think the connection, because one kid is talking to another in that sense, is that why their energy is so prominent, and these kids will interact with them from the other side?
Well, first off, children ghosts, the children that may be there may not have been indigenous to the location. Like attracts like is part of the spiritualist dogma of natural laws. Like attracts like. And I'm a firm believer in energy attracts energy. So when you have children of a certain age, that energy is vibing out, and it's going into the ethers. I firmly believe that these spirits of these children, who may be just somewhere in the ethers, are attracted to them. And I'm a firm believer that is one of the main reasons, because let's face it, a child comes into an industrial complex. Well, what can the child really have in common with a gruff old guy who used to shovel coal? It might be, it might not be, but a child with another child, energy is pretty much the same across the board, comes in, and I believe that it creates a really good bond. And also, people that walk in there may be bringing with them an energetic personality, not just their aura and all that, but they may have with their little band of, I don't know what to call them, energetic personalities. They may have a child that may be at that age, and they come in, and they may stay for a while, and then they take off and hang out someplace else. So the Para Niagara Western Block, I always call it Spook Central, because there's so many different levels of personalities there, and children. I swear to God, children congregate there. Spirit children congregate there because we hear them running on the halls, and we sometimes we'll hear giggles or whatever, and the kids that are participating, that's a lot of times what they're picking up. And I'm sure you guys all noticed that they never really pick up any FUs or anything like nasty that we would pick up or myself would pick up, because that's what I would attract. And you don't get that because the kids are kids and they're a little bit more pure. Their energy is a little bit more finer. So I believe that's what it is.
Now, if you guys, I know Heather and Frank, you guys. Because I remember the first year I was up there, you guys invited the Paranormal Voice up there to be, and there was a young boy. I can't remember his name. The name Richard keeps coming to me, but I don't think that's who the little boy was. But he was using dowsing rods, and he was like an absolute pro on them. And I was like, for a kid that young, he should not be able to know how to use that equipment that good. But he was like using them like second nature, and every time he asked a question, the response. And he was talking to an 8-year-old girl that I believe that shows up from time to time. And I just thought, like, that moment, it brought goosebumps to me just listening to these two interact. And I thought, like, that's truly spectacular that these two are communicating and talking just in real time, just like we are doing here today. And the experience that he took away from that is something that's going to probably lead him on to be a pretty good investigator down the road, knowing he's already got a really good knack for it.
Yeah.
Well,
so if anybody knows Ron Mexico, username Ron Mexico, it's his son, Rob Jr. So, yeah, and he has phenomenal experiences every time
he's got
here.
something. Yeah, he's got the knack, man. He's got the knack.
Oh yeah, and he started off with us. It was a really great experience. We see him grow now in everything that he does. So it's exciting to watch that.
You've interviewed him a couple times too, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, last year.
Yeah, I believe he's been on the show twice. Both times we've been there so far, he's always the first eager one when we say anybody want to talk. He's like right there.
That's little Frank Jr. That's what we call him.
Little Frank Jr.
Quick backstory is, the first time he came, you guys weren't there. So we were doing the dowsing rods. When they left that day, he told his father, we have to go buy some. I mean, instantly, as soon as they left. And they went and bought rods. So the following year, when you came back and he was back with them, he had learned how to use them because he had watched what we were doing. He liked it. And he had asked me how I learned them. And I said, from that one right there is how I learned them. And apparently he was eager to learn. So he watched me doing them and he learned it. And then, so now when he comes, he brings them and he'll stand on one side of me and I'll stand on the other. We'll ask questions and the rods will work together almost in unison when we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was pretty amazing to watch too. Like both you guys upstairs in the gallery upstairs in that one room. And yeah, it was like side by side and whatever. It was like watching unison dancing with the dowsing rods. It was spectacular to watch, and it's just like I wish I could be that good with those. But one day I'll get there.
Listen, for a fee, I'll teach you.
Wait. Oh, I don't have a piece of paper. Read this.
Read this. The Tim Shaw test
Teaching
test
Read this.
Here you go, Frank.
There.
You got a choice. Read this for free or come to my class and pay the fee. I don't care. Whichever one you want. It's all up to you, Frank. All up to you.
Uh,
I got a thumb drive with all his stuff on it now, so I'm good.
It's obsolete, Frank. I've got better stuff now.
Listen, it's all fundamental. I'm good.
So when do these events start up? And as anybody can see along the bottom right now, we do have the website to go to where you can purchase your tickets, find out more information, find out all the dates. But if you can right now, give us a breakdown of when will these events be starting, and any other information you'd like to spread out there about the Western Block, and if anybody would like to go to investigate the Western Block, all that information can be found on the website, I'm sure, as well as other social media outlets you guys are on. And I know right now it's blocked, but there is a QR code that will be on the screen throughout the month of October, where you guys can just scan that QR code and it'll take you right to the Western Block website. So go ahead, guys. Talk about the events, when they start, how often they're going to be, and a little bit of pricing, and any information you want the public to know about the haunted Western Block.
Take it,
Okay,
Heather.
I guess I'm up. So we started our first guided ghost hunts this past Friday, and we run them at 6, 8:30, and 11. And we are going to be starting up our family ghost hunts every Saturday through October. And yep, you can get tickets through our website. And don't quote me, I think the family hunt for the whole family is just one price of $30. So it's not, per person, per child. And then our regular guided ghost hunts are $35 per person.
Which
There's
is
only
actually
one Saturday
go ahead. I was going to say, which is actually an unbelievable price, because anybody that knows anything about haunted locations understands that most of them are a bit higher. So, I mean, this is actually really an economical thing for everybody to be able to go out there and be a part of something that's real, be a part of something that also helps preserve a very important piece of historic integrity in the Lockport area.
Yeah, the funds we use towards preservation of the property. Exactly like Tim said, these historic sites, people don't understand that, there's property taxes go with it. There's upkeep. There's mortaring our limestone, this beautiful limestone. It's got to be mortared every so often. So we
have to feed Frank once in a while. That's
Yes.
right there. That's no fees go to that. No fees go to filling Frank's belly. We have a slush fund. We all get together in the beginning of the year. We put some money in there, and then we just give Frank a menu, and then he just gets crazy.
So yeah, we also want to make it fun for people to come, and for people to actually be able to come and not, have to dish out, the gas money they were counting on for work that week to
but
come,
also just quickly, Western Block is really located in a great haunted corridor. There's several haunted locations not that far away. And also, if anybody wants to do even ones that are a little bit farther away, you can do a whole weekend where you can go from one place to another place, and really, and the area is conducive to paratourism because it has many fabulous restaurants up there. There's fabulous historic sites. There's discovery centers. You've got the Erie Canal. You've got the lock system. You've got so much in that area that people, it's like, to me, Lockport, New York, where the Western Block Paraniagara is located, is a very hidden gem, and it's just being waited. It's just waiting to be totally discovered. So the paranormal is just a little bit of it. So, I mean, there's hotels you don't have to worry about, worrying about where you're going to stay. If worst comes to worst, I'm sure Heather will let you sleep someplace on the street. Don't worry about it.
We do overnights here.
We also do privates. So if you have your own groups and stuff, look that up. There's privates. You can, like she said, you can spend the night. You can take our barn challenge and spend the night in our barn, or spend the night inside the building doing stuff like that. Doing your investigation all night long. Because sometimes people like to be there at the 3 o'clock witching hour, so everybody knows how that goes. So there's options for you to, spend the night and do what you need to do.
3 o'clock. What are you, crazy? I haven't seen 11:30 in 20 years.
Right.
I bet you saw 11 o'clock this weekend, though, because I know the last couple of years I was up at Sage Paracon, I don't think I got back to the hotel until like after midnight.
We had intensive discussions. It ended around midnight, 1 a.m., and then we had intensive discussions till about 3 to 4 a.m. I got 3 hours of sleep every night I was there this weekend. So needless to say, this old man is whooped after the ride and everything. Because I didn't have my driver with me. What can I tell you?
That would be that guy over there. No, thank you guys so much. The Haunted Western Block, such an amazing thing, and like Tim says, it is just it's in the middle of a lot of really haunted locations. You've got the Hinsdale House, you've got the Wildwood Sanitarium, you have the Palmyra. And so, yeah, anybody can go up there. Anybody who is part of a group can make a whole weekend out of going from location to location and experience just all the parts of that part of New York or Western New York, and how its history is well preserved. And Western Block is a must stop for anybody going through New York.
Absolutely.
There's always something going on there, so check out the website. Go there. Just daytime tours, nighttime. Do you guys do daytime tours as well, or just nighttime tours?
We do history tours during the daytime, but we mostly bring the kids out for the daytime stuff.
Okay. So there you have it, folks. The Haunted Western Blocks.
I do have 2 announcements to make.
You have 2 announcements. Whoa, drum roll, please.
Come on back.
He's just a frozen face right now. There he is.
I do have 2 announcements to make.
All right, let's go.
So the first announcement is anybody that's in the area, come on up to Dundee and see the 3 of us. Tim is doing a talk. Heather and I are going to be doing a talk. That's the weekend of November 7th. So we're going to be in Dundee, Michigan for that MI Paracon up there.
Yeah,
so
for the Old Mill Paracon, Dundee, New York, or Dundee, Michigan, and it's really got some. It's a beautiful little place. I've been up there several times. It's haunted as all hell, and it's a wonderful place. The presenters are all great, and the attendees are great. It's just a friendly little place that I highly recommend.
And we're
Dundee's amazing.
We're looking forward to doing our first invited talk, so that's going to be fantastic. That's going to be great. And the second thing I've got is all summer long, we were planning on doing some investigating and stuff, but we're putting together a little new project that we're going to be dropping this Thursday, October 1st at 8 p.m. It's going to be on the Haunted Western Block YouTube channel. I'm not positive it's going to be on Facebook or not, but it's going to be on the YouTube channel for sure. All I'm going to tell you is the name of the show is The Chopping Block. It's a lot of fun. We had a good time putting it together.
It features the melodious voices of both Heather and Frank, and their unusual unseen talents, and that's as far as I'm going with that.
Right, and we discuss a gamut of things, anything from prohibition, anything you want to discuss, we discuss. And with that dropping Thursday night, October 1st at 8 p.m. We hope everybody likes it. Like I said, we had a good time doing it. You know, we're not professionals, but hey, it was fun anyway.
It was a blast.
6 episodes, and we're working on another six to go along with it. So that was our big project this summer. That's our big announcement. So look for the chopping block Thursday, October 1st at 8 p.m.
There we go. And that's on the Haunted Western Block YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yes.
So everybody, after this show ends, go over. Don't log off of YouTube yet. Just go over, type it all in, subscribe so you guys do not miss an episode. I'm sure that's going to be amazing. I will be tuned in. But I just wanted to thank you to my guests, Heather, Frank, and of course, Mr. Tim Shaw. Thank you guys for talking about the Haunted Western Block right there in Lockport, New York, and a must-see location. And if you guys have not seen it on Death Walkers or on Expedition X, go check out those episodes. You will understand why it's such an amazing place. So, and if you're looking for something to do, Halloween season is upon us, folks. Go to the website, check it out, get yourself down to Lockport, New York this October and take in some of the festivities. So once again, thank you to my guests, Frank, Heather, and Tim for talking about the Haunted Western Block. It's been an amazing hour. Guys, stay tuned. We've got another amazing show. We got Harley Black coming back next Sunday, October 5th, for another scientific talk about the paranormal. Harley Black, she's such an amazing, I should say Dr. Harley Black.
Yes, she is.
She is truly amazing. You guys don't want to miss that episode. If you haven't seen the first show with her, go check that out. And she's going to be back next week, next Sunday, October 5th, 8 p.m., talking more about the science behind the paranormal and how it can be explained. But guys, check out the Haunted West Block. I want to thank you to you guys. And the Haunted Western Block is the sponsor of the Paranormal Voice for the month of October. So I want to thank you guys once again for sponsoring our show, and we appreciate you guys, and we will be catching you guys at some point. We are going to be down at the Haunted Western Blocks at some point in October.
Absolutely.
As soon as we figure out that date, we're going to let everybody know, so you guys come down and check out what these guys do, and we'll be doing some live interviews with some of the kids, which is always amazing because I love picking their brains and finding out why they're so excited to talk to dead people, you know. But I love it. It's cool.
We do that. Listen, we do that every time we get together with Frank. Frank, right? What's going on? What's going on in there? I know there's something else going on in there. So Frank, just
a lot of
So guys, thank you once again for the Paranormal Voice, from everybody on the side, everybody who's watching the show from then, now, and forever. We thank you so much for continued support. We love you guys. We will see you guys again. In the meantime and in between time, happy hauntings.
Thank you. Have a good night.